Welcome back, everyone. We just saw the first game between M5 BenQ and SK Gaming. I've got Crepo up on stage, and what did you think there?
Yeah, a little bit one-sided game. Moscow 5 showing their land dominance, and yeah, SK got a bit rolled, but I hope they can pick up their spirits to make it an exciting game too. They definitely have the potential to make it, so let's hope for a really good game in the second game.
They already had one upset this tournament, so I mean, what is their spirit like? You face them, you know how passionate they are. Are they broken by this, or are they stronger than ever?
I know SK is a really, really emotional team, so when they do well, they snowball that feeling really, really well. Like, you've seen the pictures from Oslo and Aranea basically in tears after the games against us, and I really like that. I really like the emotion. I just hope they don't get too upset after losing, because it was basically a snowball, so not really that much happened. And it all depends on bans and picks next game.
Yeah, what helped? Why the snowball? Why did that happen? They just weren't playing up to snuff, or were they beaten in the pick ban page?
I think Moscow 5 got a lot of their favorite champions. Like Shen top lane does really well for them, always against us as well. Sona and Ghost with Pepper is really, really good. So yeah, there was two main champions already, and then they just dominated it. They controlled the game, and then they pushed it out, Moscow 5 style, and that's it.
Well, let's see how game 2 goes. I've been standing still long enough that I might just disappear. I'm gonna hand it back to Rivington and Freak in the caster booth.
All right, thanks, Rachel and Crepo. Some amazing matches this weekend. Moscow 5, however, saying we're turning it on full throttle for the last day. SK Gaming completely rethinking the strategy that came into game 1, hopefully bringing it into a game 3 for us.
Yeah, well, we saw that actually last time that Moscow 5 played a series, is they stomped game 1 against Fnatic really hard, and Fnatic was like, I'm going to learn how to play Rumble. And they crushed that game 2, Fnatic did. And then game 3 was, you know, a very, very close battle that Moscow 5 came through. SK Gaming, I believe they have what it takes to say, let's make it a little bit different. We get first pick, We get first pick, we know what we need to do. We know how to play this game. We can make this happen. I don't know if they're going to do a lane swap and say, because right now, actually, Genja and Ghost Pepper, I don't think they've lost a lane really all tournament. They've always done phenomenally well. They were just up so much in minions. Ghost Pepper kept picking up those kills onto Nif, on Janna. Maybe they say, okay, let's not go for a 2v2 in that bottom lane. Let's swap it around. Let's shut down Darien. Let's make that a difficult time for you. And let's go, you know, and do some lopsided lanes. Let's do something a little bit freaky. Let's do something cool. And let's take the game over that way. We still haven't seen the aggressive invasions on either side, really, either. Both teams took their own jungles pretty securely. Nothing too crazy happened in the beginning. And honestly, if you are the underdog team, you should do crazy things, because the top teams, they're used to standard stuff. That's how they typically tend to win, is they play standard stuff and get really far ahead of you, because their mechanics are so strong, their teamwork is so strong. Moscow 5 are probably the best team fighters in this game right now. They have never gotten into a fight that they were going to lose. They always come in at the right times, at the right angles. They land their abilities, they communicate who their targets are, and they always come out on top when they initiate a fight. So SK Gaming, you know, they're the underdog here. They're the team without that kind of reputation. And now maybe they are that good, right? Maybe they say, no. Moscow 5, you're good, but we're actually the best team fighters. We're actually the best mechanically. We're actually the best strategically. And if that's true, then, you know, play your hearts out. Make it happen the way you think it should happen. But to me, sitting here, knowing that SK, at least as far as the crowd, now the crowd's behind them, don't get me wrong, but you saw the interview early on, they said, you know, he said, I would like for SK to win, but I think Moscow 5 will. That's kind of the prevailing sentiment here. SK is the underdog, and I think it's their duty to bring out something a little bit crazy.
Yeah, they are going to have to. Now, Diamond Prox being a huge impact player right now for Moscow 5 BenQ. They are banning out his Lee Sin. He has loved Lee Sin this tournament. But now what do they do about Udyr? More CC, more defense as well, and he can completely just dominate a team fight in that bear stance. So whatever they're going to bring to the table, they definitely have to focus out those few players. Even Crepo said, there's Shen top as well. There's Gosu Pepper on Sona. You can only ban 3. There's about 5 champions you need to ban out.
I think what SK needs to do is really change their mindset right here. I don't think they can, I don't like that they're sending like one ban at each player and like, well, play your second favorite champion, right?
Right.
You know, Diamond is so good on Udyr. Yeah, he's an amazing Lee Sin, but he's also phenomenal on Udyr. Sending one ban his way doesn't help you very much. Same with Alex Ish. He hasn't even brought out Rise yet. He hasn't even brought out Twisted Fate yet. Why even bother sending a ban at his mages? They're sending out a one-sided ban on Karthus, so, because Alsa's not going to play anyway, but they're not really hurting anything that Moscow 5 is doing. They're just like, well, this is mathematically really effective because it drops out one of the champions you can play. And this is mathematically effective because it drops out that Lee Sin. But it doesn't do anything. It doesn't change how Moscow 5 plays. If they want to do something crazy, go ban out Nunu and Sona. Go actually do something that's meaningful. That actually makes Moscow 5 pick a third support for the tournament. I don't think they've actually run anything but Nunu and Sona the entire time through. I don't think, that anyone else really cares. They have to play their fourth best champion. And it's not like the Ghost Pepper doesn't know other champions, of course, but nothing has really happened to make him even try anything else, right? They haven't even tested how good his Soraka or his Tariff or his Janna is. They don't even know. And honestly, if you've been playing the same two champions for the last like 20 games in a row because no one ever bans you out, maybe you're going to be that little bit rusty and you're not used to those same mistakes you can take. It's not like they're running Nunu or Sona support much themselves. I think they need to actually pick a player and say, yeah, we'll either we'll drop out Lee Sin and Udyr and Shyvana. Now maybe his Dr. Moon is good enough, maybe it's not. But you've got to, I think at this stage when these players have so many favorite champions, pick something and go deep into it.
Yeah, as we look at the jungler statistics back-to-back, Diamond Prox with 3.5 kills and 8 assists average per game to RNA's 1 kill per game and 5 assists. So that's huge coming out of the jungle. Your lanes are getting more presence. Your lanes are beefier because of that jungle. They can get the assistance that they need, and it's really becoming huge for them. SK needs to revert back to that buff destroying strategy. Just go for it. Sometimes you need to go balls to the wall and make it happen. Right now, that's the strategy they need. If they sit back, if they're complacent, if they try to bring it to late game again, Moscow 5 will continue to pick them apart.
Yeah, and it's not SK's play style even, that they're a team that loves to play aggressively. They should play to their strengths, The pick and ban phase is the phase where you say, yeah, we're going to play out your weaknesses, right? We're going to pick things you're not good against. We're going to ban out things that you're the best at. We're going to make you play uncomfortably. But when it gets to game time needs to be about you. Game time needs to be about, yes, here's things that we know. And it could be an offensive thing like, hey, what we want to do is steal buffs. Now, of course, that does hurt the other team, but it's a positive decision. It's a decision for yourselves. It's moving you into the game. I don't think that SK wants to say, well, we should play out of our comfort zones and play a completely different strategy and play for late game. That's not how they play. That's not what they're used to. And there's a whole set of decision making that changes when you play in a different style. When you stop playing aggressively, there's a lot of different times you say, wait, this is a 20% chance of failing. You know what? Let's not put that risk out there. And I don't know exactly what, and the prime example here is Counter Logic Gaming Europe, where they do play for late game. They do play a bit more safely. Their decision making is so different because they take different risks and they make different choices and they go for different advantages. I don't think SK has I don't want to say knowledge. They're exceptionally smart players, but they're not as familiar with that kind of play style. Moscow 5 has been playing like Moscow 5 for years. Right? They know exactly the decisions they make. They know exactly what they want to do. They can communicate without talking. Right? Just seeing Ghost of Pepper there walking forward, Genjin knows he's going in for a crescendo, and they can combo their abilities together. I think Ezreal landed his ultimate every single time during crescendo, and that's got a long cast animation. He has to know it's going to happen right when he casts it, and he was always on top of that. This communication is so good because they know what they normally do. SK needs to do what they normally do, but they need to do it better.
As we said, SK had a very good team late game there, but the late game was in their base. Moscow 5 was too tanky, and when they actually got to the 5-on-5 team fights, they weren't able to do much. The AoEs would hit, but they weren't penetrating the armor, the magic resistance that was already built up for Moscow 5, just being so far ahead. As Crepo said, it continued to snowball. There's not much you can do after that situation if your lanes are being taken down like that. Alex Ish was very good on being mobile, very good on making his way to different parts of each lane and helping his team get kills. Diamond Prox came up with the first 2 kills in the game and proceeded to get kills in lane as it seemed like SK was getting a little tunnel vision in those lanes.
Yeah, I mean, they were just kind of out of nowhere, Diamond would show up, and even if they did see him, right, and if it was out of somewhere, he still succeeded with those ganks. He was still setting these people behind and really, crushing SK's hopes in a lot of those cases. They only ever gave up 1 kill, and that was in a 4 versus 1 where they just dove the heck out of that guy. They just dove Darien and picked up that kill on Shen.
Yep.
But otherwise, SK, they didn't make things happen. They did just get jumped on all the time. The mobility for Moscow 5 was just better. The ability to make those fights happen and make those ganks and make those kills, that was all Moscow 5. That was their aggression. They definitely made that happen. So SK, they need to set the pace. Moscow 5 never goes into a bad fight. They always come in saying, this is the fight we'll win, and it always works that way. A little bit of a trip there. Good job, Dustin. But, Moscow 5, when they play their game, they always win. SK needs to upset that. SK needs to play their game. They need to play it over the top of Moscow 5. They need to affect the game in their favor. They need to turn up the heat. And they can't just sit back and say, well, we lost, crud, let's just sit and on our heels. No, they need to say, it's go time.
There is something we see teams try to do to Moscow 5. And like you said, when it comes down to it, don't play Moscow 5's game. Play yours. We saw CLG EU try to outpick Moscow 5 with their own favorite champions, and DreamHack didn't work out for him so well. We'll have to see if SK goes for that. They should really be picking their own champions and making the compositions that work for them, not that try composition. This is the time where you need to go back to your roots. You need to figure out what those staple champions were for you and see how much you can come out on top.
Yeah, well, we have D-Man in the audience or up on stage. Either way, we have D-Man, and he's got some words for us. So, D-Man, take it away.
I'm down here in a very hot and sweaty audience. It's pretty warm today. It's one of the hottest days, I think, of Gamescom so far. We are obviously here in between the finals. I'm joined by a member of the public, and you're going to get a chance to win this pretty awesome t-shirt. It's the new one. It's the Jungle. What's your name to start with?
I'm Zeno.
Okay, and we've just seen Moscow 5 pretty much stomping SK Gaming. Do you think SK Gaming are going to come back into it for a chance to win this t-shirt? Who do you think is going to win the next map?
I really like SK, but I'm going to give it to M5.
Yeah, your heart wants SK, I think everyone else, but your head's going Moscow 5. Freak, Riverton, back to you guys.
Yes, we are getting up into the second game. Champion Select has just now started. You can see these signs in the audience. There's one that said, SK, go do this. You've got guys behind it. You can see hats. You can see heads. You've got so many people here waiting to cheer on their favorite teams and waiting for some phenomenal, phenomenal games. The picks and bans have started. And SK, they're going to ban out that Karthus again. And I don't know. I feel like the way that Moscow 5 is winning is with aggressive play, not with Karthus sitting back and farming.
Yeah, that's not what they need. I'm not expecting to see Morgana here in middle either. They want aggression. I'm expecting to see possibly a Gragas or that Ahri from Ocelot in middle. We do have Nif banning out a final Shyvana. They do not want to see that. Shen is gone as well, taking a little bit of a Krepo's interview there into consideration as they take him out. Darien was very strong on that last time, and he pretty much shut down Kevin's gangplank. And right now, statistically, Kevin is the advantage that they have over it with his kill-to-death ratio. It's one of the best on the team. It's one of the best over Moscow 5s right now, and definitely against Darien and Lane. But Darien is saying, I know how to play against you. Now that we're matched up, I'm going to bring that back to normal.
Yeah, so right now, SK heavily considering their first pick. And yeah, top lane I think is going to be one of the big lanes for SK. I don't think they've won that, unfortunately. And they're amazing, amazing players, but I haven't seen SK really win their bottom lane in quite some time. Even their victory against Counter Logic Gaming, those first 2 kills, Yellowstar was often one of them. It was actually Kevin and Ocelot that carried through in those team fights. And so the focus for SK, the focus for their strength, it needs to be on Kevin right now, on Yorick, and it needs to be, once again, on Ocelot.
Alex Ish now to pick, going again for the support. No reason to pick that AP to be countered just yet, and they are going to go Sona Udyr, bringing that crowd control back into the matchup. Gosu Pepper does get his favorite pick.
Yeah, and once again, he's going to be happy to have that Sona. Ran Nunu a few times before, but of course, Nunu banned out here. Diamond going to again show up as Udyr. Now, Ezra being grabbed this time, potentially by SK. We'll see. Yep, Yellowstar has locked that one in. right now running Ignite and Flash. He wants to play aggressively on that Ezreal.
Yep.
We'll see just how that one pans out. As Kevin, of course, he's already got Yorick locked in for himself, so we'll see what he grabs for his teammates. I'm going to guess support, maybe a jungle, but I think they will wait on that mid lane.
It's going to be really nice with that Yorick pick. It is nice to have an Ezreal. Let's see what else they are thinking to duplicate with that ultimate. As you said, looking for that support pick most likely here. We'll have to see what Kevin chooses. They're definitely taking their time on this one. This could be one of their final matches. As we have said, they have gotten that seed into the championship match in Los Angeles and for Season 3, but they are vying for that top spot in the European Regionals to represent Europe.
Yeah, and once again, they are going to say, yep, Janna is our support. So, seeing a couple of similar picks. 3 of these 5 champions so far are showing up again since the match just 20 minutes ago. But now we're going to see Yorick here again. And actually, I guess I should say 4 of the 5, but Ezreal actually switching hands here. And then Yorick, of course, a newcomer. He was banned last time around. So, looks like Moscow 5 was right to ban that last time because SK was right on top of that. The Yorick is a phenomenal pick. He does about 3 things really, really well. Number 1, he is a great laner. He sustains himself. He keeps his health pool up so phenomenally. It is almost impossible to bring him down. And because of that, you can send him into a 1 versus 2. You can send him into an undermanned lane in order to give yourself a 2 versus 1 somewhere else. You can use that to shut down a pick on your opponent's lineup. Now in the late game, what he does is he has a phenomenal ultimate called Omen of Death. When you cast that on yourself or on a teammate, it clones that champion and you can control it and it deals damage just like a regular champion would. If the guy you targeted ever does die while that clone's alive, he'll actually be revived by that Revenant and he'll live again for about 10 more seconds. So, you know, normally these guys want to dive and kill off squishy backline late game carries, but if you clone him to deal more damage and when he dies he comes back to life, you can't shut that down anymore. It's just going to keep dealing damage and it removes one of the options for you to win a team fight.
Yeah, it's a really big play right there. One of the only champions that can really multiply a person in the team fight, and that's huge. We do see the support jungler going out for RNA, having a very good game on Maokai yesterday in the semifinals, and we may see Ocelot picking up TF. A global presence comes into the game.
This is really, really good. There's a lot of synergy here. Maokai is one of the best junglers, one of the best ganking, well, certainly one of the best junglers, but probably one of the best ganking junglers as well. His clear speed is pretty good. He clears the jungle pretty quickly, but when he shows up into your lane and tries to kill you, he's going to root you in place, he's going to knock you into the air, he's going to slow you down, deal a bunch of damage, and by that time, the teammate that you're ganking for in that lane better be there in time to knock you down. And if he ganks for Yorick, Yorick can slow you down. If he ganks for Twisted Fate, Twisted Fate can stun you and output a lot of damage. If he ganks for Ezreal and Janna, there's a slow, a knockup, and a lot more damage behind that. On top of that, Ocelot has locked in Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate, now he can stun and do a bunch of damage, but his number 1 utility is a very long-range teleport. His ultimate, which he learns at level 6, he pops that, reveals all enemy champions on the map so he can see if someone's coming around and waiting for you in the brush, and he can teleport. He's going to show up on top of someone right next to his teammate Maokai. Out of nowhere, root, knock up, slow, stun, damage everywhere, and the teammates you ganked for. There's going to be a lot of kill potential here on the SK lineup.
And you know, this is going to be the first time that Twisted Fate is picked in the tournament. He has been banned out twice, and really I think all the minds thought that was going to Alex Ish. Going to be on Ocelot this time. Ocelot known for a bit of Twisted Fate, but is this what I was talking about before? SK trying to pick the champions of Moscow 5 to throw them off guard.
Yeah, although, you know, they've done a half-decent job of that, of course, by taking away Twisted Fate, by grabbing up Yorick, which Moscow 5 ran twice in their first match here on Thursday here at Gamescom. But also, you know, Ezreal's been just so heavily sought after. SK did pick that one up first, but they grabbed Janna early on, which did allow Sona to go over to Moscow 5. And, you know, I don't know. I still just have to say that I question a little bit the fact that they're not denying Sona from Ghosty Pepper. Maybe they're not worried about it. I don't know. I just feel Crescendo is so incredibly powerful, and Diamond still puts up great results as Udyr. I don't know if banning out Shyvana is really hurting him very much, but we're going to see how it pans out. SK are going to play their game. They didn't change the bans up because I guess they're just not actually worried about Moscow 5. As Krepo said up on stage, the game snowballed ahead. It was the first 5 minutes that ended up deciding it. We're going to see who wins this game too. Let's give it over to Rachel on stage.
Hi everyone, before we go into this final match, Riot has prepared a special something for you. It's our recap video from the weekend. Sit tight for just a few minutes and we'll be into the game.
Heard the names Alex Ish, Ocelot, Froggen, and Lamia. You've seen them battle from lane to lane, from tower to tribush. Get ready for a Summoner's Rift showdown because today is the European Regionals semifinals, which will determine who will compete in the $40,000 final. Get ready for an epic day of League of Legends. Here's a recap from Gamescom Day 3. Two world champions face off as M5 BenQ, winners of IEM Kiev, take on Season 1 champions Fnatic Raid Call. Game 1 starts off with Fnatic taking first blood on Lee Sin while he tries to take red buff. Here we see an amazing heal bait from M5 BenQ's Ezreal. He waited for just the right moment to let Ignite expire before popping his heal. Alex Ish then teleports in on Ryze to secure the kill on Sona. As Diamond Prox heads down through the jungle, he gets hammered by Jace. After getting knocked back by Lee Sin's Dragon Rage, Jace retaliates with a beautiful shot to Diamond Prox to take him down for the kill. The game is tied at 16 minutes when Ryze teleports down to bottom lane again. This time he flashes over Anivia's wall to Egg Speke for the kill. At 30 minutes, M5's Diamond Prox and Gosu Pepper attempt a two-man Baron. With a little help from Genji's Ezreal, they take the buff uncontested. Less than 3 minutes later, Fnatic threw up the surrender. M5 BenQ would be one step closer to the finals. M5 BenQ made great use of their teleports exemplified by Alex Ish's play on Ryze. He had 7 kills, 5 assists, and was unstoppable as he was never taken down throughout the match. In Game 2, Fnatic Raid Call's N-rated Zenith Blades onto Genji's Ezreal, but Gosu Pepper is right there to peel him off with Sona. The flash just isn't enough for N-rated to escape, and M5 secures first blood. At 14 minutes and 39 seconds, the two teams face off in the bottom river. Soaz drops Rumble's equalizer right on top of Dragon, grabbing the objective and smothering 3 members of Moscow 5. M5 BenQ makes a stand at their top inhibitor turret. They would push Fnatic back, picking up 2 kills in the process, allowing them to make an attempt at Baron. But that attempt is interrupted by Lamia, who was devastating with Graves all game long. He makes his way into the middle of Moscow 5 to take out Lee Sin and Jax. Genji tries to back with Ezreal, but Soaz uses the equalizer from Rumble once again to clean up the fight. Fnatic overwhelms Moscow 5.
It's so quiet.
M5 BenQ will advance to the EU Regional Finals, but more importantly, they are guaranteed a ticket into the Season 2 World Championships, as well as a spot in the Season 3 Championship.
Hey guys, welcome back to the casting booth as we're about to get underway with this matchup. Moscow 5 BenQ versus SK Gaming. Could be a final game here for SK. However, as we've said throughout the year, these teams battling it out. The Season 3 Championship to go on next year. 3 teams already in, but they are now vying for that spot to represent Europe as the #1 League of Legends team here at the Regionals. We're at game day 4 here at Gamescom in Cologne, Germany for 2012. Rivington III joined by Freak. Freak, we have had amazing matchups this weekend.
Oh, absolutely. Every single game here has been outstanding, and so many of these have been comeback victories, a lot of them pushing over 40 minutes in length. I mean, we had a series where it went to game, like, only in 2 games, and, like, at the end of it was like, shoot, we're already scheduled to start the next one. We allotted for 3 games, but at 2, we're, like, pushing it right now. Holy cow. And, you know, they've been such just great sports the whole time. Yeah. Such amazing players overall. The crowd here still, everyone's standing up. It actually takes like minutes to go from like the stage to the caster. You can see it behind us. It's not that far. It's like 10 rows of people. And you just have to like fight through Germans to like get through there. It's actually very difficult because they don't want to give up their spot. They've been camping out. A lot of them, you know, like, you come in at like 9, 10 in the morning and the seats are already filled. The game's starting in like 2 or 3 hours, but we want the good spots. These guys are so awesome. I love you guys who are here. Thank you so much for joining us here at Gamescom and being part of this. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for making this event what it is. Thank you to the thousands of you online who are watching right now.
185,000.
Yeah, just right now, of course, millions over the course of this weekend. Thank you all so much. And that was just the English stream as well. So those who are not watching me and don't know I'm saying this, thank you still to the French and Polish and everyone else who's there watching their own localized streams. But again, everyone who's a fan of League of Legends, you guys are awesome. Every summoner who plays this game, you make this what it is. Thank you so much for playing this.
And you know, there's people you don't see. There's people that do a lot of work. You see this beautiful game every time it comes up, and I really want everybody to give a huge round of applause to Lycaeus, working the camera controls for you all weekend with the audio and video crew in the background. Let's give him a round of applause right now. Those guys setting up amazing replays for us and giving you the best possible visual experience that you're going to get with League of Legends. We're going to be hopping into the game here, and like I said, this may be the final game. Ladies and gentlemen, they are wearing soundproof headphones, and this is going to be the last time you get to cheer for them before you see them in Los Angeles. If you would like to see Moscow 5 BenQ take this home and be the #1 team of League of Legends in Europe, let's hear it for Moscow 5.
If you want to see SK Gaming bring it back in Game 2 and bring us a 3rd and final game of this tournament, let me hear you cheer for SK.
The crowd is ready and the teams are ready, Freak. Nothing has happened yet. No minions have spawned. You can see Game 1 to Moscow 5. But that is not playing on the minds of SK right now. They are seeing that 0-0, and they just want 2 matches for themselves. They are going to be making sure they are far within that Moscow 5 jungle right now. Moscow 5 is also poised on that bottom near the Dragon objective to go through Tribush, possibly denying golems as well when they go down here if they don't find anything.
Yeah, both teams playing very aggressively in this second game. I like the mechanics of how SK is invading. They're leading it with Maokai, so he can go in there with Twisted Advance if he needs to. Asla has already locked a gold card. That is a stunning card from Twisted Fate to follow up. And they make sure they don't go into brushes while those abilities are on cooldown. So they wait for that to come back up, and they go for it again. Aura actually opening up with his Arcane Smash here, that Q ability, to make sure he knocks down these camps quickly, heals himself up, and is actually going to clean this camp up without using Smite. And again, that is a steal against Moscow 5, so he really wants to shut that down. Of course, Diamond doing the same thing on Udyr, stealing a lot of these away. And he's actually going to happen across Darien pretty soon. Aura going to be walking into an enemy really, really soon. Kevin very, very low as he actually takes down this Golem cap and actually screwed up the pull. It's actually going to tether back, and Kevin is not going to get the Golem buff here.
He's still trying to work it back and forth. Arne very, very hurt right here, but they have switched up the lanes. So we do have that shield coming from Janna up top that kept him safe. As Renekton returns to lane, we are going to have to see Arne going back here, or Kevin rather, as he was trying to grab that blue buff, and it did hurt him quite a bit.
That is definitely very, very unfortunate. He is going to teleport in. He did get an early ward, but he's just got the 3 potions in a 1 versus 2. And Sona Corki, you can see Ghost Pepper sitting in that brush there. If Kevin walks forward, he's going to take some free damage. Walks up, and again, that harass coming out, dropping him to 2/3. And Diamond setting up for an early kill. He's actually going to find Kevin in the brush as he puts the ward down. He's going to go in for that pressure. He will flash over the wall, but the Ignite is on, and they will chase that down for first blood in just moments.
You know, Freak, if he had the blue buff, he probably could have waited a little bit longer to put that ward down. He would have been able to sustain in lane and felt stronger to have level ability 1 and 2. Putting that ward in would have been much easier with a ghoul, but he gets taken down. And like I said, Moscow 5 continuously being in the right spot at the right time. Finding Ocelot in middle, pick a card, not even coming up yet. Ocelot playing this one very calmly.
And I love how just smart that was by Diamond, knowing that Kevin was going to ward and that, you know, putting that one down, he would take a lot of damage there. That's actually why I don't ward. I don't want to get ganked by a jungler. I'm happy to sit there without anything. Aura forcing the flash there from Genja, and does not have Twisted Advance up yet, so he will not make that gank happen. Ocelot running down through, still wants to make something happen, but he's not going to be able to. Ghost Pepper back in the brush, healing up, and Diamond knows that he can steal away that golem, and is doing so right now.
Very nice job. Diamond Prox just playing a very smart game on that Udyr, and again, he got himself that near first blood, I believe. No, it went to Corki rather, but he does have the assist, so already he is far ahead of the jungler on RNA. Alex, he's coming up top lane now, and they're going to focus 4, and this is very Hanover-esque from Cbit. Moscow 5 continuously lane roaming before 5 minutes. Another kill. 2 kills in 5 minutes from Moscow 5, and they are so omnipresent already on this map.
Yeah, that was such a great call overall. Also went to the bottom lane, so Alex East just pushed one last wave. Diamond said, guys, their top lane is pushed up. I'm going to go for a gank. Alex, come on by. You've got to slow. You've got some damage. Let's make this happen. So much presence here from this Moscow 5 lineup. They have already made these kills happen. And again, Diamond really leading the charge on these. Phenomenal play by him.
Still anybody's matchup at 5 minutes. Bottom lane farming back and forth as they're just trying to poke Kevin. A beautiful job in the composition. You can see Genja in and out. Every time they're going to auto attack, it's kind of like call for help from the minions. They will start to attack you, so you see them in and out of the brush, backing in and out, and they continuously do that to stop the damage from them. And you can see Kevin half health now, and he can't even farm his lane.
Yeah, he's not enjoying this very much. Only at 12 minions, though to be fair, there's only 12 on the Renekton as well. So SK are doing a good job of zoning out their competition. Look at Ezreal at 39 minions compared to Corki's 22, and honestly, SK's profiting quite a bit from this lane swap. We're going to see here Alex pushing in through a little bit of damage. It's going to be okay now. And of course, he's got great sustain as Grag is constantly drinking from that cask, constantly healing throughout his passive. Aura, though, only level 2. That is very unfortunate for this Maokai. Reaching level 3 now is going to help him a lot more as he clears out this Wraith camp. But Aura, compared to Diamond's level 5, that is brutal.
Very, very tough, and if he has the timing on those cams, comes around, he only has the mana card, he will be stunned down there. A beautiful flash out of the body slam, and he does not take the extra damage with Ignite on.
Yeah, that would have been a kill if he landed the body slam into that barrel for sure. So a good preemptive flash there. Kevin getting destroyed at this bottom lane. One last tick of Ignite, but he's going to live. 23 health remaining on that one. But you can see Yellowstar and Nif really turning it around this game. Now, Kevin has not had a great opening, but this time Yellowstar finally said, guys, I used to be one of the best carries in this game, and he's now he's totally showing it right now. He is doing phenomenal against his Renekton. Only 22 minion kills on him. Let's look at the gold real quick. You can see 2,000, the only one above 2,000 on his team right now, and actually only Corki in that same place, and only because he got first blood.
A 7-minute turret.
Yeah, that's actually a very, very big deal. Look at that. SK with that turret kill now, almost tied in gold. Yellowstar getting bursted on. Darien is level 6. He does a lot of damage, but he cannot keep chasing with Nif there. So a great opening here by SK. They lost a couple of kills, but they're bringing it back now.
All right, the Oracles as well, very early once again onto Diamond Prox. RNA going very low on his jungles. He did not have that blue buff to start out, so that does slow down Maokai quite a bit. They know the ward has gone down, and he can pretty much not walk around that bottom jungle. As they move now, they have to check every lane to see if it starts to pinch into the jungle. They got to be very careful with all of their actions for the next 3.5 minutes.
Wow, and the second he puts a ward down, Diamond already on the way to that brush, clears it out. Kevin is fighting blind right now. And the second Ghost Pepper hits level 6, you know he's almost guaranteed to die whenever they choose to do that to him. Aura not going to like that his Lizard's getting stolen by Diamond, but he has no choice about this. He has no mana, almost no health. He could walk in for a smite steal, but that seems very, very dangerous. A ghoul from Kevin will make sure that he's not getting flanked right now. But still, he's level 4, and he's not liking his chances right now.
Oh, Diamond still sees them coming in. RNA is out of mana. Kevin does have a little bit to himself there, about 75% health. They're going to need help with this red buff, though, and RNA is going to go very low on this. Storm Shield still at quite a high cooldown, and he's only going to get it every so often. Use his smite for that one finally, and he may even get some help with the golems. Actually, I think Ezreal has taken them already. We just see Diamond cleanly going through his jungle. No worries there. Teleport top by Kevin. It looks like they have switched the lanes back to normal.
yeah, I mean, they gave Darien a long time to farm by himself after killing that turret. He got himself up to 48 minions. He used to be tied at 12 with Yorick. Yorick reached 14, Renekton reached 48. So suddenly that lane swap just bit them very hard in the back. They gave up pressure on that top lane after they killed the turret. What they should have done is kept pressuring Darien, but Darien picked up like 35 minions in a row without really stopping. You can see him just now clearing his golems away as well. And suddenly, getting into that 1v2 did not slow him down whatsoever.
And this is going to be very scary. Level 7 to level 4. This is why switching that lane up is so dangerous if they have not had a dominant lane down bottom. He is not taking hardly any damage. Running in with his ult puts Kevin down to about 25%. Ignite is on, and it looks like Diamond Prox may come to finish the job. However, RNA is thinking the same thing as well, so this may turn into a counter gank coming in. Twisted Fate Destiny goes off, and it looks like they will be able to shut down Darien top lane. He just gets out of that one alive. Can they get the Twisted Advance on? He's past the turret that is not there, and the Arcane Smash slows him down enough for the AoE kill. But here comes the rebuttal from Moscow 5.
And there's going to be Udyr plus Gragas. Let's see what they can do here. They're splitting up a little bit, but Ocelot has no mana. So he needs to run away. R with a nice jump onto a minion. Does run away a little bit, but he still gets caught out with the explosive cask. Kevin left alone. Ocelot trying to get far, far away. He will not get spotted by a minion, but he's still getting hunted there. Alex on Gragas, Diamond on Udyr. They're still going in. It looks like Ocelot wants to suicide up to a turret. He's going to recall, man. Not even in brush. Alex is not choosing the correct direction. He's going to make it out. Nice move by Ocelot, making it out of the jungle alive. Ultimately trading a 1-for-1. And I think it's an overall decent trade there for SK.
Very nice job by Yellowstar as he does come from top lane and starts to push back on Genja. They are not having as easy as a time they did in the last matchup. Yellowstar going to back now. We will see what he will buy for himself. He does have that Sheen, and it looks like he will finish his Zerk Greaves. It looks like he's going for that Phage next.
Yeah, and that's going to be a nice pickup overall. We're seeing, though, the rushed death cap here for Ocelot. He's almost there already. 69 minions is not a bad score overall. He's actually ahead of Alex Ish. Same number of kills as well. And again, Twisted Fate's passive, every time you kill anything, you get an extra 2 gold out of it. So if both these teams really sit back and with just amazing mechanics farm out minion waves, SK actually pulls ahead by doing this. Now I know SK's game plan is not really to play for late game. They don't even have to though. If the game goes on long enough, they'll just scale extra for free. It's a great asset to have that Twisted Fate on your team. It's not ludicrous amounts of income, but you look, a lot of these guys up to about 100 minions or so each. It's about 200 gold. It's not too bad.
Alex Ish saying, I got a little bit of mana and I'm going to push you right out of my lane. Tries to get Twisted Fate out of there for the extra damage. Looks like Diamond Prox will come in to soak up that experience. As we reach 12 minutes into the map, we do have a turret down, but it doesn't seem like they're trying to utilize that too much. They just allow Renekton to push top. Like I said, putting that level 7 against a level 4 was not a very smart idea for SK, but they really needed to shut down Yellowstar down, or rather Genja down on bottom.
Yeah, well, they put Yellowstar up here. Ghost Pepper still in the brush, and they're actually afraid to face check it. They don't want to get comboed out there. Even though there's not really a global presence overall from Moscow 5, they still need to worry about Diamond coming in through the brush. He has that Oracle's Elixir, and actually speaking of, he is coming through that tri-brush right now at the bottom lane, flanking in behind SK. It's not going to go well. Ghost Pepper shows up. Will they get enough damage output? Yellowstar now left alone in a 1 versus 2. He's going to try to flash away, but there is a crescendo. They're going to just put out too much damage. He will fall down. Janna makes it out alive, but now Ocelot not in a good way right now. Flashing out away from Alex Ish. I'm not sure if he needed a flash right there, actually. He had Aura coming in. That might have been an okay place to be, but still, Diamond is constantly turning up the pressure. He has been involved in so many of his team's kills, 3 of the 4. He actually caused so many of those early kills in the first game as well. Uh-oh, Aura finding Alex in the jungle. He's not going to like this. So much damage. There's the cask. Aura going to fall down. Ocelot should not have walked in here. There's the flash and the body slam from Alex. 1 hit from dead, and that will be a kill. Alex Ish with another one on the scoreboard.
Playing on the mentality of SK, you can see Ocelot frustrated with his gameplay right now. The team just kind of falling into the wrong position. But again, Moscow 5 being there when they need to. And right now, that's happening because of the ward coverage. Beautiful coverage down bottom. They don't have it in the tri-bush. They have it right behind Dragon Den. A great setup for them to just continuously go into red buff, continuously see what's happening at Wraiths, and you can see the entire Moscow 5 team now coming out of base, their boots 2 on, a Giant's belt on Renekton, as well as 2 GP or gold generation items on to Sona. So Gozu Pepper getting the money he requires. Like you said, Freak, they're not really the ones to get too much money, but those gold generation items will help them to assist their team as they complete those synergizing builds.
Yeah, they absolutely can catch up in gold overall, especially if you participate in kills and assists, especially if you help your team get dragons and turrets. You really, if your team gets like 8 turret kills, you really aren't broke no matter who you are, no matter what happened in the game, no matter how many wards you bought, you're going to be in pretty much good shape at that point. But the difficult thing here for SK Gaming is they have not been able to pinch Diamond. They have not been able to pinch Udyr. They've not been able to remove his oracles. And he's bought it before minute 4 in both games, really. And, so far he's killed just dozens and dozens of wards. Nif caught about alone right now, taking so much damage. He's not going to like this very much. Will get jumped on. There's the kill from Genja. Yellowstar forced to run away. Now 7-1 in kills. This is looking very similar to last time. But here comes Ara trying to be not caught out. He does get away. And here comes Ocelot as well. A lot of pain coming out. A lot of damage overall. Can they clean up on this? Yellowstar is low. Darian, actually, I believe he actually stopped the teleport from Kevin. So Kevin did not make it in. Ocelot taking a lot of damage. Yellowstar trying to help him out. Diamond picks up the kill anyway. Everyone from Moscow 5 so incredibly low, and Diamond will just tank that turret, does not care, and they will pick up more kills in this matchup. And Kevin still getting chased down by Darian. He's not liking his chances much either.
Moscow 5 BenQ pulling out all the stops. It's like they don't even have lanes this game. They are playing everywhere on the map, just trading back and forth. And it really seems like the lane swap from SK instead of the buff control is really going against them.
Yep, and Alex Ish so aggressive on the map. Darian as well. They're invading, stealing away wolves, stealing away so much of the jungle whenever they can. And in fact, there is that golem buff. They're just going to go for everything. The sapling comes down. Ara does know about this, but he does not want to walk into a 1 versus 2. He cannot see the golem anymore, so he will not be able to steal that away. As Gragas walks happily with another golem buff, refreshing that timer as he already did have one. Kevin, level 9, has been stacking a lot of armor in order to survive Renekton. We'll see if that actually pans out right now.
Gragas in the middle lane, resetting now. Alex Ish more than happy to farm out there. He will be able to 1v1 onto Ocelot right now. Ocelot going for the full glass cannon build. He only bought 1 Doran's and then straight went into the Rabadon's death cap, but he hasn't finished. One more shot onto Nif, and he goes down in the 2v1, just playing a little too aggressive. And the snowball once again begins to roll.
Yeah, they're up 6,000 gold. This is very reminiscent of Game 1. Moscow 5 really showing that they're a very, very dominant team. They're going to move in, warding up that brush. They are not going to find a flank just yet. They were looking for a hopeful flank on maybe Yellowstar or Nif when he respawned. Ocelot with a beautiful barrel, does get knocked back, but a great stun means he will run from Alex, but there is that body slam. Though he is still slow, the stun comes out. Gozu Pepper shows up, lands a lot of damage. One more barrel, not going to land. One hit from dead. Can Gozu Pepper deal the damage? No, because Aranea is there to slow them down. Kevin as well. Gozu Pepper getting hit for a lot of damage right now. Can SK turn this one around? The barrels are there. There's a lot of damage coming out. Diamond up in the mix, taking a lot of pain. Yellowstar there, but no one's dying all that quickly. Ara not going to like his chances. Kevin might fall down as well. Genja picking up a kill there. Sona picking up her first of the map as well. And now Yellowstar forced away so low. Darian picks that one up. Nif flashing over the wall to escape. Kevin's little ghost there. Not going to do enough damage. Moscow 5 picking up 3 kills straight. Though Ocelot did escape, not many else did.
That fight started by SK Gaming. They had 0 vision after the river. Alex was able to just walk back into the bush, come in with a full body slam on 3 members of SK Gaming, and continue to deal damage with the rest of his team. Yes, SK Gaming needs to win these fights, but they cannot initiate if they don't have the vision. It is not going to go in their favor. Again, we may not be able to see them get the five-man team fights into play until it's too late. Coming in with the Arcane Smash as well as the Twisted Advance, but there's just too much damage coming out. The Ignite tick is on right now. It will not take him down, and the quick slice and dice back in will be able to finalize that kill with the ultimate AoE, and it looks like they make it out safe.
Yeah, absolutely great play. Darian, he's got the Sunfire Cape already. He's got 130 minions. He's got 3 kills. Again, he was starved in that top lane for so long, but now he's got second place in total minion kills, second only to the Corki that was given a, comparatively like leisure luxury resort 1v2. So, amazing job by Darian. I have to hand it to him this game. He's done phenomenally. Though Genja, I've got to say, he did just amazingly in game 1. He's done amazingly in game 2. Genja really putting on his try-hard pants today, and he is making Moscow 5 proud of him, and he's leading the charge in what's looking to be a very convincing game 2.
They're all doing very big things. Maokai really going those boots of mobility to try and make those little instances that they need happen. Instead of going any damage mitigation, they're kind of trying to pull out all the stops here with what is happening. We do see the gold generations items are out, and it looks like Ocelot now recipeing into a ability tome.
Yeah,
Let's see what he does with that.
I'm confused because he opened up with 2 of the 3 parts, the third part being the recipe.
Right.
Oh my gosh, hold on. They're going to get jumped on. Nif taking so much burst damage. Drops right now under the course of those stuns. Aura shows up, knocks Darian into the air, but Darian is tanky. He doesn't care too much. The rest of the team shows up. There's the dance coming in. Not going to do much damage. Ezreal, Yellow Star gets cloned. That's going to be a very big deal in that fight. Can they do enough here? Alexis has shown up. All 5 of Moscow 5 are right by that Wraith Brush. What was I talking about before? Yeah, so Ocelot's build. He had most of the death cap, and then he's like, hold on, I need a Doran's Ring. Hold on, I need wards, I need an amplifying tome. I know he's trying to like scrap together ability power to turn these fights around, but 20 AP is not going to make a fight suddenly go into your favor. He needs those big ticket items. He's actually fortunate that Alex Ish is going for a different build from him. He's going for an Abyssal Scepter. He's trying to amplify, magic damage on his team. He's trying to get a little bit more tankier himself. He's going for a Deathfire Grasp. That's all fine. Those are great builds. But if you build differently from your opponent, even if you're behind, you have different strengths from them. And so you can play up those strengths and play a different game that lets you scale ahead. Even if your items are, in gold value worse, you can play the game such that you're farther ahead because what you bought goes into your play style. I don't like that he's trying to scrap together these little random pieces of ability power. He needs to get that death cap out, really scale ahead in pure damage output, and make the game happen that way.
It looks like more wards being cleared and placed. You can just see connect the dots from Baron down to Wraith and then around all the way across the map. It looks like M5 has the number of SK Gaming right now, but we have seen that SK can come back. It's going to be very tough at 12,000 gold down and 15 kills. 21 minutes in here, we do see Diamond getting caught, but in a 3v1 situation, you do not want it to take this long to take one person down. They definitely want that Oracle, but at what cost? They are not able to take him down, and that was quite a bit of damage they were bringing to the party.
Oh, absolutely. This is just not looking happy right now. SK, even when they catch someone out, they don't have anyone farmed enough to like blow up that champion. As a result, you've got a Neo Trinity Force here from Yellow Star that will help him a lot. That'll catch him up very close to what Genja has, because Genja's going to go for a Guardian Angel. And again, that is a good chance here for SK to make things happen correctly, because Genja is going to stop scaling offensively. He's going to get tankier, and that's fine. He's going to be durable and hard to kill. But if SK can make kills happen on other members of the team, Yellow Star will deal just as much damage as Genja will. But there's the explosive cast. Kevin's not liking that very much. Blows up to a barrel. Ghost Pepper still a bit durable as well. Ocelot going to land a stun. Can they do enough damage to Sona? She gets a little bit low. Darian not quite landing a stun on anyone. He's not going to be able to dive in. Ocelot blocking in another gold card. Can he go for some more pressure here?
Looks like Genja going to be able to take down a turret down bottom during this fight. So with that kill, they also grab a bit of global gold and map positioning. They don't really need any more of that right now. SK needs to start thwarting what is going on. They need to stick together, power in numbers. The thing is, they still need to farm, and that's not going to come at this point. Genja's really the only one doing the right thing right now, by himself, farming it up. Once SK comes back to lane, they're going to have to stick together. Those 8 minions, 6 or 7 rather, of the siege, are not going to be enough to farm these guys up even over the next 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, they're going to catch out Alex Ish, though. 2v1s is what SK needs, and they have the ability to force those. They have a Twisted Fate. Yeah, overall, yes, the farm is very behind. They're, down about 14,000 gold. Darian, but he's running around, in a 1 versus 4. We actually saw this last time. They did pick up a kill in that kind of situation. He's taking so much damage. The explosive cask actually going to keep everyone at bay. They will not pick up this kill. Now Diamond in front, but again, they're outnumbered. SK has decent damage output here. Diamond is taking a lot of pain. Ocelot not liking that too much, but now it's Gozu Pepper's turn to take a lot of punishment here. Yellow Star beautifully positioned on the other side of the wall, but he gets caught out, and Genja will pick that kill up. Now to get revived by that Revenant, can they shut down Genja? Looks like that's not the case right now. Aura getting forced away, Ocelot running away himself. Looks like it's going to be only one death. Nif not legging his chances now. Going to be caught out alone. Genja picking that one up nicely, and they jumped in on Aura as well. That's going to be 3 kills now in that fight, but it started out so close for SK. They did get a lot of early damage output there. They could have almost picked up those kills. Moscow 5 was there just a little bit too early and stopped them, but that's the kind of fights SK needs to take.
Diamond flashing in just to push again Ocelot off of any positioning. He is going to tank all those turret shots. They will be able to grab this inhibitor. All of the team from SK Gaming is up. And we'll have to see what they can do after they hit this inhibitor. Are they going to push onto this? Very low HP could be what Moscow 5 wants them to initiate on. They just actually did that with 4. It looks like they may be able to get this second tier top turret as well. That is going to open them up to have all the inhibitor turrets.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice place for them. That bottom inhibitor turret available as well. And yes, they've got now their 7th turret kill. That means all the outer ones are gone. One of the inhibitors already fallen. This is a chance for SK in that they will be able to farm. Darien will get stunned up as well. And there is the Twisted Advance. So much damage. Darien could be the second casualty of this game. A couple shots to go. Can they land that one attack? Yes. Yellow Star picks it up, and 500 gold on top of that for the killing spree. And now Diamond is the one caught alone. SK, 1 hit to go. Can they get the damage? Diamond, he will fall down. It's now a 4 versus 3. Can they make this happen? Nif forced everyone back. Genja reinitiating though. Nif so close to down. Ocelot has a stun card ready, but he's afraid. Alex Each lands the body slam. A double kill from the barrel roll. Kevin and Ocelot running. Can they get away? Alex trying to land one more ability. Can he get it? Kevin, body slam. One more hit. He's going to fall. Only Ocelot now left alive. Moscow 5 wanting to push in. So I guess they didn't get the inhibitor. Now they will, though. And this is a great place for Moscow 5 to be.
Freak, I have to question, with Corki out of mana, they were spread horizontally by 4. As Gragas got closer, they said, let's group up. He was able to body slam and double barrel easily and grab those 2 kills. SK Gaming really off of their 100% game right now.
Yeah, they are just not dominating as much as they did yesterday. They had such a phenomenal showing. It just seemed like their teamwork and their skills were just a little bit better that day. Or Moscow 5 is just that good, they can make the world's best teams just look easy. And you're seeing it 3-24. Moscow 5 really far ahead. SK, they can always pull this one out. Moscow 5 have lost games from this exact same situation where they're up 20,000 gold. They're in the driver's seat. They have all the kills. But if they can't close it out, you'll just scale and scale, and eventually you can catch up. Right now, a stun coming off on the Darien. The damage is there from Ocelot. Darien really going in for some pressure. Another stun coming in. The flash not quite going to matter. Can Ocelot run in time? No. Darien picks that one up, and now he's on against Kevin. Aura will now show up. He needs to put his ultimate down to block some damage. Kevin still getting chunked down. Can Darien make it happen? 1 hit from dead. Genja will. There are 2 kills and no return here yet from SK. They are ready to keep pushing. Everyone else coming down from the top of the map. They want to push this bottom lane right here. Kevin will eventually fall as his ghost times out. And now Moscow 5 are looking to close in on SK's base.
Here they go, going for that bottom inhibitor as they have 3 pushing mid. The crescendo goes on to the Yellow Star. He gets the arcane shift and the storm shield from Janna to stay alive through that ignite. Janna almost getting hit with explosive cast. And it looks like Moscow 5 BenQ ready to get onto these Nexus turrets. Will they have what it takes to take down both? Ezreal ulti coming out. There are super minions though. They will not be taken down too easily. 1 Nexus turret falls. The Nexus is open for the European regional finalists. Will Moscow 5 take it home for Europe? SK doing what they can to shut down this fight. Too much damage is being dealt. Genja back up from the Guardian Angel. They are focusing on the Nexus, turning it around. They will be able to grab it. Moscow 5 is your European regional champions.
The best team in Europe by all measures. First place in circuit points, dropping only 1 map the entire regional. Have only ever lost a series to 1 other team on land, and they are showing what it means to be Europe's best. There is the huddle. They are happy, the smiles on their faces. They have brought it home for their country, for their team. and for the region that they'll be representing in just a few short months.
So we have Moscow 5 in first place with SK Gaming coming into a close second with those games. Moscow 5, however, showing true determination to continuously win games and give up not even an inch during the entire match. Your third place will be going to Counter Logic Gaming Europe, and these three teams have got themselves a ticket to Los Angeles for the Season 2 World Championship.
Oh, just a phenomenal game. A phenomenal series of games played by all of these teams who showed up over the weekend, even the quarterfinal matches where you see, of course, these top teams in Europe, seeds 1, 2, and 3, all making it through. Their opponents all put up great showings. Big shout out to all of the 8 teams who qualified here for this weekend, all the teams who played through the Challenger Circuit events throughout the year, and everyone who has come to watch these tournaments, everyone who's come to play and qualify, everyone who's just put so much time and effort into these games, into their own lives. And now these guys, you can see them on screen, have become full professionals. They're qualified for Season 3. They're qualified for the $2 million prize tournament, the Season 2 World Championships in October in Los Angeles. SK Gaming, they are not going anywhere. Yeah, they lost this series, but they came out, not quite came out of nowhere, but they definitely turned some heads this weekend overall. They have what it takes to get their practice on and surprise even more people. You know, second place in a region is not exactly bad. That means you're amazing and phenomenal. And of the millions of players in Europe, they're 6 through 10 in skill individually.
Especially for a team to come out with roster change after roster change as well.
Yeah, but when they finally grabbed RNA and Yellow Star, that seemed to be what it took to tick in. Now, of course, still a phenomenal team, even with their old roster, with Candy Panda, with the Drain, with everyone else who used to be on the roster, still racking up circuit points, still. And I have to shout out to those players as well. Though they're not representing SK now, they did help them accrue those points. They did help them get where they are now in this regional. But this now roster for SK, so very strong. Second best team in Europe as proven by this regional 2-0ing Counter Logic Gaming EU. Only ever even losing a map to Moscow 5. You see them on screen here. And of course, they are the champions of the, I was going to say of the world, to quote a song, but of Europe.
The song played in my head when you started singing. But
we are the... No,
yeah,
go.
So coming into this, like I said, this was very CBIT-esque for Moscow 5. We saw those games going down where they used Janna to roam in the jungle right off the bat. They were always around that red buff. They were always making things happen. And they really just did that again this time. They saw that they had openings. They said, you know what? Yeah, maybe 3 minutes and 30 seconds, but let's put 4 top. We're going to get a kill out of it. And we'll get 3 assists. Let's go ahead and put 3 bottom. We'll get another kill. And a huge factor in Game 2 here, have to point it out, is that blue buff repull. He was not able to get it. It would have sustained him in lane, and it would have prevented that first blood as he went toward Tribush. He wouldn't have had to do that as early. Yes, he could have played more cautious, and maybe he would have, but with the blue buff, probably able to have level 2 by the time that Diamond Prox got there, would have had a sustain, and would have been able to keep himself alive for that first blood. Diamond Prox was huge in getting first blood and the second kill assist in the game.
Yeah, and there you can see on the far left of your screen right there, you can see on his jersey his screen name in case you're not sure what his face looks like. And that guy, I've got to call, you know, I said Genji did phenomenally, but Diamond, I want to call him the MVP for this series. He got first blood for his teams, both games right there. Sub 30-minute victories both times because he kept the pressure on. He has such phenomenal ganks, and I can't say it enough. That gank at Tribrush where he knew because of how much he knows League of Legends, said, Kevin's going to come back to lane and he's going to ward this brush. I'm going to stand in this brush that you're going to ward. You're going to look for me. You're going to gank yourself, actually. That's how much I know. That's how much I'm in your mind. I know you're going to do this. I know you're going to find me. Bear stance stun, picks him up. Such an amazing play. That, to me, I think was probably top 5 smartest plays I've casted. Definitely top 5 smartest plays this weekend. Diamond, definitely a master of this game.
Yeah, he did so good. Camping the lanes he needed to camp. We saw him camping down Kevin. We saw him when he needed to camp down Expeke, and Expeke even said, I didn't expect that to happen, and actually dropped a F-bomb in this situation because he was just so frustrated. That's what Diamond Prox can do to a game just by himself. Guys, we have the award ceremony and more from the teams themselves coming up after this. from Rivington III, and this is Freak. That was the Gamescom matches, guys. Stay tuned.
Hi, everyone. We're back, and that was the finals of the EU Regional Season 2 Finals. So now we have our teams, and here to say a few words is the CEO and co-founder of Riot Games, Mr. Brandon Rise Beck.
Hey guys, what an awesome tournament this has been. So much fun to watch, so many surprises. I'm sorry I lost my voice if you can't hear me. 4 days of this will do that to you. But M5 really showing us why they're the defending champions, finally defending their title. SK with a really powerful and decisive upset yesterday, making their way into the top 3. And CLG clawing their way back. Now, these 3 teams are going on to do some really big things. But there were 5 other teams that really poured their heart and their soul into this. They made this tournament interesting for us. Guys, I want everybody here to help show some respect and admiration for the 5 other teams that poured their heart and soul into this event. Let's hear it for those guys. Now, I just want to say, on behalf of Riot, on behalf of the ESL, and on behalf of all the pro teams here, this whole thing lives based on the passionate enthusiasm that all of you here at Gamescom and all of you guys tuning in on the stream really bring. So we want to thank you guys really humbly. Put your hands together for yourselves. Thank you for all your passion, your enthusiasm, your support. Now, we're about to bring out the 3 winning teams. And these guys, as you know, as you've heard on the broadcast, are going to be going on to Los Angeles to compete against the rest of the world in the World Championships come October. How many of you guys, make some noise if you think that these teams are going to make a big impact on the world stage? Let them hear you. They're back there. Make some noise. I think it's safe to say that Europe is going to be a force in this competition, and that we have some fantastic teams back here to represent for all of you guys. So let's bring them out, Rachel.
Thank you so much, and let's give one round of applause to the man who made this game possible, who made you all fans of League of Legends, Mr. Brandon Rise Beck. Now I would like to invite to the stage Carmack, Dustin Beck, and Rivington Bruce Bislin III to present the checks to our winners. Gentlemen, please, come on out. And it is now my pleasure to welcome you guys. You guys look great. I'm not even, you know what, we gotta talk for a minute before I bring them out, because you guys are special in your own right. Carmack, we haven't seen a lot of you on this stage this weekend. What have you been up to?
Just getting sick from the amount of work that we've been doing here. So I can barely speak at this point, so please forgive me.
Well, I won't ask too much of you, Mr. Dustin Beck. You've been behind stage, working your butt off all weekend. What has it been like?
You know, it's great when an event goes off successfully like this, and we have, you know, the highest caliber European teams playing, and then you get to see a third place match and a finals match like this. We're all excited and fired up to see these teams that have now become the top European teams, and we're excited and looking forward to what they're going to be doing in the World Finals.
And Rivington, you've had the privilege of observing these games from the caster booth all weekend. What can you say about our teams who have made it to the finals?
The European regionals pitted the best against the best. We saw some of the most amazing 2-match best of threes ever that felt like a 3-game best of 3. And then the scariest moment when Moscow 5 showed their true teeth, coming out against SK Gaming, which many thought would be a 3-game matchup, making it almost a 2-game surrender. Moscow 5 leading Europe in the regionals and being your European champions.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Now, without further ado, I would like to welcome our gamers to the stage to claim their prizes. We have our 3rd place team, Counter Logic Gaming EU.
Gentlemen, you've come very far. You've solidified yourself in a position in Season 3 Championship Series. What are your emotions right now?
Second loser, yay.
Oh, what are you guys taking away from this? What did you see from these teams that you haven't seen before? And what are you going to change coming into that Championship Series and possibly in Los Angeles?
Just gotta keep practicing a lot. A lot of the games weren't extremely innovative, but we dropped our game, so we have to up our game, look at ourselves, and if we perform our best, we can take the games.
Are you guys prepared for Los Angeles?
Not yet, but we will be.
What is going to be your regimen of training from here until Los Angeles?
We're going to Korea, compete in OGN tournament, then we're going a week to Taiwan, scrimming with Taipei Assassins for a full week. And after that, we go to California area to bunk up with CLGNA in a gaming house and just practice mad.
Right on. Would any of you gentlemen like to say anything to your fans, people at home, mom and dad?
Yeah, thanks to all the support, guys. It's not possible without you.
Thanks, guys. It's been an amazing crowd today, and thanks for the whole weekend. It's been fantastic. Thanks for your support.
I want to thank everyone for the support, and it's been a great event, and I've enjoyed it a lot.
Awesome. Well, gentlemen, you have gotten yourself $25,000, a spot in the Season 3 Championship, and the road to Los Angeles for Season 2.
You can hold on to that check, you can take it home, but you can't stand in the middle of the stage with it anymore. Come on over this side here. We have to welcome our 2nd place team, SK Gaming.
Gentlemen, amazing matches in the semifinal day. Even Crepo said a very emotional team can carry you guys to the top. Did your emotions get the best of you? As being such an emotional team, using those emotions to win matches, did that get the best of you this time? Do you think that hurt you at all?
No, I think that wasn't a problem today. I think it's always good to be like this. And I'm really sorry for my first game and also for the second game. I think we disappointed everyone, but I think we learned and we try to not disappoint you anymore, and I'm sorry.
What do you guys have in mind for the next few weeks / month on the road to Los Angeles? What are you guys going to do to get yourself to be able to take out Moscow 5 and the rest of the teams in LA?
Train as much as possible, get even a closer relationship as we are, and that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, SK Gaming taking 2nd place at the European Regionals. The road to Los Angeles is in front of them with a possible 1st place victory. Gentlemen, you are taking home $30,000.
Congratulations to you, gentlemen of SK Gaming. I look forward to seeing that hanging on the wall in your pro house. But now it is time to welcome our champions to the stage. Please show your appreciation for F5 BenQ.
Such a familiar scene to be next to you again, Alex. In Hanover, you guys played just about the same style. What made you go back to the roaming style in the beginning of the second match?
It's like we knew that we are at purple side that is weaker initially, so we decided to counter SK's aggressive play style. Like the only way you can defend against like aggressive, be aggressive yourself.
How much homework did you do coming into this matchup? I know Moscow 5 regularly travels to the location and practices for weeks on end before the matchup. What was your homework to check out all of these teams before Gamescom?
It's like we were kind of prepared for SK Gaming. We were like 60 to 70% sure that they will come to the finals. So we lost to them in the tournament. Previous tournament online, and we knew that they will bring something extraordinary that we will need to counter. And almost all the preparations come like the day before. So we are like discussing the whole day, what will we do the next day? At least like in the first game, because the first game is the most important. So we just got, and for SK we were preparing like all 2 games. So like we decided the strategies that we will go on the first level. The only thing that we didn't discuss Zyra pick, it was just like, okay, I feel like I can play Zyra and win.
Alex, what do you guys have planned from here until Los Angeles? What is going to get you ready for those matches?
I think that we will watch more Korean and Asian teams because they will come really prepared for this. It's like, maybe for Korea it's not that money, but I think Chinese teams, like $2 million, they will kill people for this.
Do you guys have anything to say to your fans?
Yeah, thanks to everyone watching us. Thanks all our fans. Thanks Moscow 5, BenQ, and MSI for helping us, for bringing us here. And like, thanks everyone. Moscow 5 for the win!
Ladies and gentlemen, Moscow 5 taking home $40,000. Your European regional champions, undisputed, and the first place seed going in for Europe at the championship in Los Angeles.
Congratulations, F5 BenQ! They are your champions. They will be representing Europe with the highest seed going into the finals of Los Angeles. So one more time, can we please give them a round of applause? Thank you so much, Remington, Freak, D-Man, Joe Miller, Jason Kaplan, for all your hard work this weekend. Thank you, Brandon and Dustin Beck, for giving us this incredible game. Oh, we're cuddling now. I'm so excited that we're all friends here.
Round of applause for everyone, the crews, yourself, the thousands and thousands and millions of viewers over the weekend. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. Have a great night. Make sure you grab some Riot swag.
Thank you. Good night.